عليهم الطوفان والجراد والقمل والضفادع والدم آيات مفصلات فاستكبروا وكانوا قوما مجرمين ولما وقع عليهم الرجز قالوا يا موسى ادع لنا ربك بما عهد عندك لئن كشفت عنا الرجز لنؤمنن لك ولنرسلن معك بني إسرائيل فلما كشفنا عنهم الرجز إلى أجل هم بالغوه إذا هم ينكثون فانتقمنا منهم فأغرقناهم في اليم بأنهم كذبوا بآياتنا وكانوا عنها غافلين. صدق الله العظيم. So after the mu'jiza of Musa alayhi salatu wasalam was established, the miracle, did Alu Fir'aun, the people of Fir'aun, did they accept Islam? Did they accept Iman? Far and large, most of them did not. So how does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deal with them? As the Quran Kareem says, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that we took the people of Fir'aun, meaning those who followed him, number one, bis-sinin, that we sent a severe drought upon them. That was one form of adab. So first a drought comes, so that now this will affect vegetation, plants. Now plants and there isn't food to eat, so now the animals and livestock will start dying. People will be troubled. وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الثَّمَرَاتِ, and deficiency in fruits and vegetation. لَعَلَّهُمْ يَذَّكَّرُونَ. What is the reason for this? As we did earlier as well, the first a type of difficulty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends. What is the objective of this? So that people are reminded. Because when it's time of difficulty and hardship, this is very human, this causes what we call riqqatul qalb, softness of the heart. When a person is going through difficulty, and especially when it hits initially, it jolts him a little bit. That where am I headed? That all of this that I was thinking, I was living in the laps of luxury, and I was thinking that everything just goes on and on and on. This sudden change that comes about, this change that came, this upturns my entire worldview. Everything I was considering, everything I was thinking about, all of that came to a halt and it changed. So what it's supposed to do is لَعَلَّهُمْ يَذَّكَّرُونَ, so that they take heed. You see how quickly things change in this world? How weak man is, how much control do you really have over the things of this world? Here Fir'aun is saying that هَذِهِ الْأَنْهَارُ تَجْرِي مِنْ تَحْتِهِ فَلَا تُبْصِرُونَ. He's calling you towards this, that aren't you looking that the Nile river, all of this is flowing? It's all under my control. That was his claim. The people accept it. Whether they actually believed or not, for one reason or another, they gave in to that propaganda, they gave in to that type of belief, they gave in to the ideologies, those thoughts. So now, qaht and drought comes, things are dying around you. So what is that supposed to do? That's supposed to remove you from your ghafla, from your heedlessness, and bring you towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and see that things aren't as you may have assumed them to be. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala removes those ahwal. It doesn't necessarily stay for the whole time. That comes and then it's removed, it goes back to normal. So فَإِذَا جَاءَتْهُمُ الْحَسَنَةِ قَالُوا لَنَا هَذِهِ. They say, see, because we did whatever we did, whatever superstitions they had, whatever kind of plans that they made, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala returns it back to the same state, they say that, oh yeah, we were the cause of this. Because of this we did and that we did, so such and such things. Now that is why we are going back to the same condition. However, then when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala again turns it back, وَإِن تُصِبْهُمْ سَيِّئَةٌ يَطَّيَّرُوا بِمُوسَى وَمَن مَّعَهُ. They take a bad omen from Musa. These were their superstitious beliefs. I mean, they're saying that all of these difficulties, Musa, is because of you. And rather than changing them, your own hal and your own condition, this is also one quality of transgressors. That when the truth comes, rather than accepting it and accepting your own fault, except that rather than changing one's own self, the transgressor says what? No, it's because of you. Point finger, this, you did this and that happened, and make some form of thing. Everything can be wrong except me. Everyone is bad except me. So this is a very bad quality of the transgressor, which comes up often in the Quran al-Kareem. So when تصبهم السيئة يطيروا بموسى ومن معه ألا إنما طائرهم عند الله. Now you're saying that these are bad ones from him, from them. You're saying that these are all things which are coming from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. ولكن أكثرهم لا يعلمون. However, most of them do not know this, they don't hold this knowledge. وقالوا, and they address Musa alayhi salatu wasalam and say, مهما تأتنا به من آية. All of these signs that you brought, these miracles that you have, or you're claiming, in their words, you're claiming. لِتَسْحَرَنَا بِهِ. They're still adamant upon this. Right now, when Musa alayhi salatu wasalam and the Sahara, the magicians, had the competition, if you want to call it, which Fir'aun himself called, what was the result of that? Musa alayhi salam shows his nubuwah, the mu'jizah, and what happened? What did the magicians do? They all accept Islam, right? They bring iman upon Nabi Musa alayhi salatu wasalam. But they are still stuck on this, that all of these things you're bringing to mesmerize us. You're trying to do magic on us. لِتَسْحَرَنَا بِهَا. The same word of sihr. You're trying to bewitch us. فَمَا نَحْنُ لَكَ بِمُؤْمِنِينَ. We will still not believe on you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends another set of adab. فَأَرْسَلْنَا عَلَيْهِمُ الطُّوفَانِ. One Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends is tufan, meaning a storm, whether it be in the form of flooding or in other forms, whatever form of storms that are sent. فَأَرْسَلْنَا عَلَيْهِمُ الطُّوفَانِ. Then وَالْجَرَادِ. Another form was of locust. As you know, when locusts come, they come in droves and they destroy everything. They eat up everything as they come. وَالْقُمَّلِ. And qummal, there's different translations that are done, or explanations. Some say grasshoppers, others say qummal is also used for like lice, or grasshoppers as they have it over here. وَالضَّفَادِعِ meaning frogs. Meaning, for example, there's a bag of rice or wheat, they put your hand inside, frog pops up from there. Why? As we said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, His sunnatullah is what? The way how, and the things that you practice, what you preach, that's how the form of adab is, right? So magician does what? He puts his hand in. Now, maybe they weren't doing the same, but just to explain, over here, what do? They put your hand in, and then what comes out of the hat? The bunny pops out, right? Trickery. The idea is to change, what someone thinks, trick them into this, make them see something else. What you believe to be, that's not what's right. That's what magic and sihr, that's the idea of it. Whether the actual reality sometimes changes or it doesn't. So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the adab came in the same way. That waddam, the ayat says waddam, that Mufassirun say that if they would go to drink water, it's water. When it comes to the lips, it becomes blood. They go to touch something, it's food. What pops out? Grasshoppers are popping out. Qummal, dafadir, frogs. That this is what you are accusing the Nabi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for. This is what can happen for you. This is, you want to talk about sihr, this is what can happen. وَالضَّفَادِعْ وَالدَّمْ. Ayat al-mufassalat, clear signs from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Right? And one day, if someone goes to their home and these things start happening in their home, how blind and how stubborn does a person have to be to say that, okay, something is wrong over here. Where we are heading towards, this is completely unacceptable. Ayat al-mufassalat, clear signs from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But why? Someone, even us sitting here, we're thinking, what's the reason? What's the reason? فَاسْتَكْبَرُوا, very simple. إِسْتِكْبَارًا فِي الْأَرْضِ. How can it be that Musa from Banu Israel, they are our slaves, they are under us, and they're bringing a Nabi and telling us that the way we are upon, we have to leave that, and we have to accept this man as a Nabi. And then what he's saying and his understanding, his aqidah, and what he's calling towards, all of that is right. That level of istikbar, and pride, where it can lead a person. That when it can be ayat and fasl, such clear signs. But takabbur and pride and arrogance is such a thing that it doesn't matter how clear it can be, a person will deny the sun. They'll say that there's no, it can be bright daylight, he says it's dark outside. Why? But I can't be belittled, or my status can't go down. I have to be over here. But Muslims are slaves. They're bringing a Nabi and telling us? No, that's it. Same thing happened in Quraysh Makkah. That's what the Quran says. That the other tribes of Quraysh say that, look, we are vying with the Banu Hashim in this, etc., etc. Now they claim that they have a Nabi amongst us. Yahud Medina, same issue. The Dariyas and people are all looking up to us. We are the Ahl Kitab in the area. The other mushrikun, they would also look up to them. Now, these are people of ilm, although they didn't accept their belief system as such, but they looked up to them that these are Ahl Kitab, people of the Kitab. They have knowledge, and as they did, definitely they had many Anbiya came to the Banu Israel, thousands of Anbiya came. So they would respect them and honor them for that. There are some remnants of Nubuwwah, teachings of Nubuwwah, definitely over there. They have access to the Torah. But what was it? That if we accept what he's saying, there goes they say, yes, our being chiefs, our leadership, all of that's going to go. It's the same thing. فَاسْتَكْبَرُوا وَكَانُوا قَوْمًا مُجْرِمِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's court doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. وَكَانُوا قَوْمًا مُجْرِمِينَ. They are considered to be the criminals. Now, when these adab come, وَلَمَّا وَقَعَ الْمُجِدْ قَالُوا يَا مُوسَى udu' لَنَا رَبَّكَ. Now, dunya is dunya, right? They want to continually living in this world. Some Mufassirun say that these different forms of adab came and stages, so to say. So one adab would come, they say, Musa, please make dua, please make dua, please make dua. That's the irony. On the one hand, you disbelieve. The other hand, who do you go for dua? No. Same thing happened. Quraysh Makkah did the same with Rasul. They didn't believe. But when any problem came, and they say that don't do this to us. قالوا يا موسى ادع لنا ربك بما عهد عندك. The nubuwwah, the barakah of nubuwwah that he has given you, you raise your hands and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will change this. لئن كشفت عنا الرجز لنؤمنن لك. If you remove this adab, we will definitely believe in you. وَلَنُرْسِلَنَّ مَعَكَ بَنِي Israel. Will also let the Banu Israel go. That was what Musa is saying, that I free them, stop enslaving them. I have to take them to Ard al-Muqaddasa. فَلَمَّا كَشَفْنَا عَنْهُمُ الرِّجْزَ. Once Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala stops the form of adab, for example, if it's frogs popping, if that stops, now إِلَىٰ هُمْ بَالِغُوهُ إِذَا هُمْ يَنْكُثُونَ. Again, they would breach the promise. After some time, again go back to the same way. So then another set of adab comes. Then again they make dua. Then again the same thing happens. Then again this repeats itself. Until فَانْتَقَمْنَا مِنْهُمْ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for the sake of His Nabi and for as establishing His hukum in this world, as His Mashiach and as His will was, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as the Quran Kareem says, took intiqam, vengeance from them. And eventually فَأَغْرَقْنَاهُمْ فِي الْيَمِّ. That we drowned them into the sea. Why? بِأَنَّهُمْ كَذَّبُوا بِآيَاتِنَا. Because they rejected the ayat, the clear signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what the Nabi brought. وَكَانُوا عَنْهَا غَافِلِينَ. They were heedless about this. They were heedless about, and they were continued denying these ayat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So eventually, as we all understand, that when Musa crosses Fir'aun and his people, they come, they follow, and in the same sea which he claimed that he has authority over. See how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's adab comes. The thing that the man thinks that his own authority is over this, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala uses that same as a form of adab. He claimed that he has control over the seas. The same sea becomes the means of his destruction and his people. We make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the understanding of the Quran Kareem. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa